Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
And I'm your other host Dan.
It is Friday, August 19th, and we're going to talk about some video game news for you today. Dan, what are all the things we're going to talk about?
Oh my god. We gotta talk about Counter-Strike gambling.
Again.
But this might be like the last story we really do on this.
Yeah, this is the last, or this is just sort of more fallout from the other stories we've done.
It's a little brief touch upon it. We're going to talk about Konami trying to win back Metal Gear fans.
Some more fallout from other drama that's happened.
Can they do it? And we have a ton of news from Gamescom. We've got Overwatch news. We've got Resident Evil news. We've got Pokemon news. We've got some rumors about Fallout. We got Final Fantasy news. We got South Park news.
Oh yeah, I love the South Park.
I like that one too.
That's great.
So we've got a bunch, and we'll end off with look at video games that are coming out in the next week or so, and stuff that's just come out as well. I believe, we're all set and live in chat right now as well. So
yeah,
you
can
go chat with us on chipit.net.
You can go over to chipit.net. You can enter into the chat thing. You don't have to have a pre-existing account. You can just jump right in. You can jump in with a Twitter name if you want.
Jump right in and chat with us and Harambe.
Oh yeah, Harambe. He'll talk to you. He'll talk to you from heaven.
Yeah.
But no, you can also find us on all sorts of awesome social media, such as Twitter, as I said earlier. You can go use Twitter. Facebook, YouTube, Steam, and Twitch now.
iTunes.
Oh, iTunes too.
Yeah. We have a show archive on iTunes and on chipit.net as well.
But more important than all of that stuff.
Yes. Forget everything we just said.
Just remember, we're on Patreon.
Yes.
So you can sign up to support some money each month and support the show.
Just focus on the one that allows you to give us a few dollary dues.
Yeah.
Every month or so.
But
zero in on that.
There's all sorts of cool rewards, such as being able to vote on different stories,
yes.
Like silly stories that we cover at the end of the show each week.
Yes.
And also to be able to submit stories and get additional content every month where we talk about non-video game stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all cool. We have just recently hit our second milestone on Patreon, so now we have a Twitch account. We just started it.
We're gonna be getting it. We're gonna be figuring out how that all works.
Yeah,
getting that up and running.
The bare bones of it is there. That just says this is us. Here's some graphics, and this is when we broadcast. But we're not actually broadcasting this episode. I think probably next week we'll be broadcasting an episode, and then all the episodes after that we will also be broadcasting. And in weeks to come, we will be looking at doing other content, basically just Let's Play type stuff. Maybe some other things too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely check out our Patreon, support us there. We would love if you did. It helps the show.
Yeah, which we appreciate. We appreciate things that help the show.
Yeah. Someday we can get a capture card and then we can use Twitch properly.
Yeah. Stream video games even.
Oh my god.
We'll be able to do some PC games potentially without a capture card though. So we can get some of those going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you and me really want to try our hand at Pistol Daimyo again.
Yes.
And I think we could get that up and going.
That's either going to be great or it's just going to be us losing after every 3 minutes and having to start over.
I might need a few beers for Pistol Daimyo.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That's fair, yeah. So, let's get right into the meat of it. We've been reporting for a few weeks now on Counter-Strike Go gambling, which was being done through third-party websites within the game Counter-Strike Global Offensive, where people were gambling basically using weapon skins that were purchasable on the in-game market.
Yeah.
But people were hoarding them as they sort of held a weird value within this and then betting them on Counter-Strike matches. And
because the community is so into buying and selling them on the Steam market, they really did have an equivalent real-world value. They had a real monetary value. Yeah. So then when these third-party sites came up and said, hey, you can gamble on skins, it was essentially gambling with money, basically.
Yeah.
But it was a problem because the people who play Counter-Strike Go are mostly 13-year-olds, so it means that 13-year-olds are now using online gambling sites, which is highly illegal, as it turns out.
If we had a bigger audience, we'd get so much flack for ripping on that as much as we do. I still think it's funny.
There are certain things that we rip on a lot, and some of them I think we would definitely get flack for. Like Peter Molyneux, probably not.
No.
Randy Pitchford, maybe.
I think from some people.
Yeah, because people really love the Borderlands games.
We just don't like Randy Pitchford.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate his face, I hate his stupid face. And his stupid legal team.
So, speaking of legal teams, so action was taken against a lot of these Counter-Strike websites.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Valve finally stepped in and said they were going to be sending out letters to these websites, basically cease and desists, regarding all of this. And they did that, and apparently CSGO Lounge, which was one of dozens of websites, but it was one of the bigger ones that we saw mentioned a lot, said initially, like, oh, we're going to stick to what we want to do, because we want to do the community interaction with these virtual items for entertainment, not a profit interest. But in spite of that, they announced their intention to apply for a gambling license. But apparently, they dropped that idea, because they have now said in a statement on August the 16th, from this Polygon article, they said that they will continue as an esports entertainment information platform with new features to be released very soon, but will be dropping all of the skin gambling features from their site. I'm assuming that this is probably what's going to end up happening with a lot of these websites, because the people who run them are going to realize that they could get in very serious legal trouble for doing this.
Well, what's funny is that they applied for a gambling license, and I think they probably did that thinking, oh yeah, well, we'll keep like our main revenue stream if we just do this legally. And then they looked at it and they're like, oh, they're all 13, so no one will be gambling on this site. Right.
If you need to be... What is the gambling age in the United States? Is it 18 or 21?
It's 18 or 21, and either one, that is out of the main demographic of CSGO.
Yeah, exactly. So, I would say you're right, that they looked at that and were like, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there'll be any further updates on this story, unless someone goes crazy and does something really stupid to try and counter this. I don't think we'll be talking about this again.
Counter-Strike?
Perhaps some sort of global offensive against Valve's legal team.
But no, I think that the only thing that like I really still want to report on that's going to come out in association with this are like the suits filed against
the guys,
those two guys. Yeah,
I can't even remember what
it was like T. Martin and Pro Syndicate. Was that
I think that's right, actually.
Yeah.
Good memory, man.
I mean, those are their tags. I don't remember what their real names are.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? They suck.
But
they were exploiting children. They're just bad people.
For now, things are moving in the direction of a total shutdown of this kind of thing, it would seem. Slowly, but probably pretty surely, because I don't think Valve wants to tangle with what could happen because of this. Speaking of companies dealing with hairy situations, we got a little story about Konami here.
Oh, say it ain't so. Another story about Konami.
Konami, Konami and Hideo Kojima had a bit of a falling out. A little bit. One
that just got called out at a major video game awards show.
Super hard.
Yeah.
Kojima has since started his own separate Kojima production studio.
Where he is the mascot.
As
we reported on earlier. He's a space undead man mascot.
Yes, who's getting many action figures.
Oh my god, they're going to be great.
I've never seen a company logo get as much of a merchandising push as this. So he's going to be making his own stuff separately now, but Konami still finds themselves the owners of the Metal Gear IP.
Oh yeah, they weren't giving that up. We thought they were only going to make pachinko machines with it, because that was the last thing they did with it.
They did. They've made the Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine, simultaneously enraging and throwing into despair all Metal Gear fans across the world. The remake of MGS3 that no one wanted.
No.
They have since announced a game called Metal Gear Survive, which is the first, real Metal Gear game? Because it's not a pachinko machine. It's like a video game.
It's like an actual
Metal Gear video game without Kojima. It is a 4-player co-op title that's set to launch next year, and that they showed the trailer for this at Gamescom. And it takes place in an alternate timeline after MGS5 Ground Zeroes, which is the prequel to Phantom Pain.
Okay.
Basically, when Mother Base gets destroyed, Big Boss's hangout gets destroyed,
Yep.
a wormhole opens
Whoa.
above it and pulls chunks of Mother Base and many of the surviving soldiers through it into a desolate, dystopian post-apocalypse world
Oh.
where they have to fight crazy zombies with red crystals sticking out of their heads.
That's only slightly weirder than most Metal Gear storylines.
Right.
I think because this kind of storyline, all of its plot elements are not necessarily weirder than other Metal Gear storylines, but the
Right.
main difference is one of the things Kojima loves to deal with in Metal Gear storylines
Yes.
is like the sort of political intrigue of like espionage stuff.
Right.
Whereas in a dystopian future thing that doesn't have a government, you can't really do that.
Right.
So I think that's what would set it apart more than anything else.
It looks like purely a survival action game.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really anything else going on from the looks of it. And as a co-op title, that could be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Probably. And it looks good because it's built in the MGS5 engine.
Oh, because they own that too, don't
Because they own that too. So it looks really good, and that means it'll probably play really well too. And from a gameplay standpoint, the multiplayer, that's neat. I feel like I have this in my gut. I have this desire to hate this game, and I think it's just because I'm so salty about the whole situation surrounding it that I want to just dislike it. But I don't completely dislike it.
No, it actually sounds like it could be good. And we know that...
it also is not going to be a $60 game.
Oh, really?
It is going to launch at a $30 price point.
Wow!
Which, if it has a decent amount of content, also sounds good.
That's cheaper than Marvel Ultimate Alliance for the PC.
Right?
Oh my god, I can't believe
It's so bad.
I still can't believe that happened.
There's a possibility of single player within it as well, I believe, and probably plans to add more DLC content to it, which, I don't know how much they're going to charge for that.
Yeah.
They're going to charge something for it. But it's one of those situations where I just wish they had made, I wish they just didn't put the Metal Gear name on it. Because their goal with this was to win back fans of Metal Gear, and while this might be a good game, this isn't going to win you back Metal Gear fans.
No.
This is going to get you people who want to play this game because it looks like a decent game. But Metal Gear fans, such as myself, are going to look at this not as a Metal Gear game. This is not selling anybody on you still making Metal Gear because you're not making a Metal Gear game.
Well, what's interesting to me about this is if it's actually a really good game, and it might be, I mean, they certainly have the really nice engine, and it's not like they don't have people who are very capable of making good video games.
Yeah.
Konami just often lately has been choosing not to make video games.
Yeah.
But if it is really good, that's going to also make me sad, because it'll probably garner, a new following, and might actually be successful, and I'll just be like, but they don't deserve it.
No.
Because they're using...
piggybacking off of Kojima's franchise.
And even if it's not his franchise, it's still his engine that he made.
Yes. Or his team.
And his team. So...
How many... And I don't know how many of those people are still at Konami either.
Actually, I think not many of them.
Most of the members of Kojima
because he had his own,
because
he had his own separate thing, and there were all the reports about how all of them were being treated very badly. So I think a lot of them were either fired or left.
So probably the majority of the people who worked on the Fox engine are no longer present. At the company, but they still have it because of legal.
Yeah, because they made it for Konami.
Yeah, which I agree. It's kind of sad to think about that
because
way.
They're just gonna, because if it's really good, they're just gonna be profiting off of all of his hard work.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna remain neutral in my stance towards this game for now. Probably will be good. It looks like it could be good, but I feel like there's too much bad blood for me to really want to pick it up myself. Not to blame Konami completely on the kind of messy title that MGS5 is either, but just the whole way that all that situation went down is just not good.
Yeah.
And it left a bad taste in my mouth. But Metal Gear Survive, it's coming, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
I guess now we'll be getting into more Gamescom news, since that was kind of the start of our Gamescom news right there, because the rest of the news this week is pretty much all centered around that. I got a bunch of little Overwatch stories that are just interesting or cool.
And they were all the Overwatch stories that came out of Gamescom?
Yeah, pretty much. First being, anybody who's seen our Facebook page, when we first created our Patreon, or now because it's still pinned, saw the image attached to our Patreon post of Diva from Overwatch, drawn as a little gremlin creature guzzling Doritos and Mountain Dew, which has become a very popular fan art rendition of the character.
I think she's a lot of gamer spirit animal at this point.
Yeah, Gremlin Diva's got a lot of groundswell in the gaming community right now. And Blizzard is adding a bunch of emotes to Overwatch. Pretty much every character's getting like 2 new ones, because they wanted to give everybody like laughing ones and more neutral, like sitting around poses too. And one of the ones that Diva got is called the Game On emote. It's going to be legendary, so it costs 1,000 Overwatch bucks, which is like 4 times every other emote.
Oh, jeez.
But in the emote, she pops up a little video game screen and then starts eating off-brand Doritos and guzzling off-brand soda. And it's 100%, it's gotta be.
Oh, yeah.
Blizzard, like, making a complete nod to Gremlin Diva.
And she's playing a shmup.
Yep, she's playing a little shmup with a cute little Diva emblem on the side.
Great.
It's really great. And I think it's super cool that they put that in, given how huge a part of the fan art community that's become. It's very funny. In addition to that, Blizzard has enacted a new approach to bad sportsmanship.
Oh, yeah, I saw this story and I forgot to send it to you, but I'm glad you found it, because it's great.
It's super good. Where a lot of people on Overwatch, I think it's more on PC than on consoles, because no one wants to bother taking the time to type on a console when they're playing this game. But on PC, you have a lot more of the text chat going on. And a common thing to see after games on online games is GG, which is kind of the polite way of like saying like, "Oh, good game."
It is. It means good game for all of you who are not familiar with the parlance.
The parlance of online gaming, but it's generally just a good sportsmanship thing to say like "good game" after a game, whether you won, lost, whatever. But a lot of people have now taken to saying GG easy, which, if any of you can't figure out what that means, is basically them saying good game because you gave us an easy win. So it's a smarmy way of like sarcastically being sportsmanly. And Blizzard has taken an opportunity to kind of scold these players in an interesting way by programming the chat in the game to turn GG Easy and a few other kind of nasty things people say after games, commonly, into something else. It has like a text filter, and it just turns them into other sentences, which include such favorites as "It's past my bedtime, please don't tell my mommy," and "I'm wrestling with some insecurity issues in my life, but thank you for playing with me." And they have simpler ones that are just like, "Thanks, good game." Like, where it just turns it into something nice, but then there's these extra ones where it goes the extra mile and kind of makes you insult yourself. Which I think is great.
That is great.
And naturally, a large group of people got super annoyed that Blizzard put this into the game, but that's because those are the people who are typing that and being jerks to begin with.
No, I mean...
It's the same as the cheaters complaining about being banned. It's like, if you're not doing it, then what does it matter?
I love the way they've handled all of the bad player stuff with Overwatch.
Oh, it's so good. Because the backlash of people just getting so angry about it, too, because they feel like they're being, like, attacked by Blizzard for what they're doing. It's like, good, you should. You're being a jerk. Like, it's great. They're changing up the second competitive season a whole lot. I'm not going to get into too many details because there's a lot to say. They're getting rid of sudden death coin flips at the end of, like, tie games, which I think is good because those were really crappy most of the time. Because you'll get to the end of a tie game, and then it'll do a coin flip to see who's on attack and who's on defense, and then you play one round, and the first team to score anything wins. And it's very stressful and kind of unfair because some of the maps favor offense or defense more than others.
Oh, okay.
So having that coin flip thing, a lot of people didn't like. Okay. So they're saying, no, we're getting rid of it.
It's done.
And there's going to be tie games now, basically. And in that case, both players get credit for the game, or both teams. There's going to be some more buffs and things like that. But overall, it seems pretty cool. They're going to be changing the skill ranking also. Instead of 1 to 100 skill ratings, it's going to be 1 to 5,000.
Whoa.
And they're going to do a tier system a la StarCraft 2, where you can be in Bronze, Silver, Gold, or Diamond League, depending on how high your skill rating is.
Oh.
So rather than looking at your skill rating of like, oh, I'm only rated a 44 out of 100, I feel bad. Or like me, who did my placement matches and ended up as a 41 out of 100. It's like, oh, I'm bad at the video game. You will now be able to look at it as like, I'm in Bronze League, so I'm a Bronze League level player, or I am a Silver level player, and it kind of makes you feel less bad about yourself.
It's weird that they go from Gold to Diamond and not from Gold to Platinum.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Isn't it? I think that's what it is in StarCraft as well, though. And the last little thing... gameplay-wise, is they showed off the first new map for Overwatch, which is Eichenwald Castle in Germany. And it looks to be a very cool, idyllic German village with a big castle in the middle. And the game type on it will be payload, where you have to escort a battering ram to the castle.
Oh, nice.
Which then smashes the door down, and then it becomes an assault game where you have to capture the throne room.
Sweet.
And there's all sorts of... scenery of like fallen crusaders like Reinhardt from back in the day, like the abandoned crusader armor and broken bastion robots all over the place from the battle that happened there. So it's really cool looking. I'm excited. And speaking of Bastion, they also showed their newest animated short.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's the last good. Bastion.
They continue to outdo themselves
every time
with these animated shorts.
Like, if you haven't watched this yet, go watch it. I don't care. I don't care if you've ever played Overwatch or just don't want to play Overwatch. It doesn't matter.
It's just a brilliant little animated short.
It's so good.
It's so good. This one especially is amazing because it has no dialogue whatsoever. There's no words.
Who's that robot?
It's just speaking robot and bird.
You can only beep and boop.
Yeah. Did you think robots could have PTSD? Now you know.
They can.
They really can.
It's rough.
That one moment in here when he accesses the other Bastion units' like memories of the battle reminded me of the Matrix, Animatrix, Second Renaissance battles.
Oh yeah,
where they showed the robot uprising in those flashbacks. Mm-hmm. Like it gave me colors of that, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, they've already done these for Winston, Widowmaker and Tracer, Hanzo and Genji, and Soldier 76. So there are many characters yet to come, and I believe they have said they are going to do at least one for every character. And Lex and I are both of the mind that they should just make a freaking Overwatch movie.
They should. I mean,
because this stuff, it looks as good as like Disney Pixar.
Oh my god, like
it's so good.
Some of these shorts, they like this one hit me with the feels in the same way that like the beginning of Up did.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
there's
totally.
That slow build up to it, and you get that. But it's all there, and it's without words. It's just like it's masterful storytelling.
So yeah, I would love it if at some point they made a movie of this. And we know that the Warcraft franchise is doing extremely well because of China.
Yes.
But assuming that those movies, yeah, thanks China. So assuming those movies continue to do super well over there. Maybe we will see an Overwatch movie.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch, the game's popularity, is certainly not going away anytime soon.
No, it's doing fantastic.
Yeah, it seems like every story we do about them is just like, oh, they did another cool thing, everybody loves them.
Yeah, they've been so good at listening to fan response and updating the game accordingly, like, very fast, also. Like, I'll see them say, like, oh, there's some problems we've become aware of that we want to fix. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll just wait for the next patch. And then it's out in, like, 4 or 5 days. It's just ready to go. Like, here's your update. Like, it's really great.
So yeah, let's not spoil anything else about this short. The only thing that I want to say that I told you earlier, that this short taught me that in war, the first casualty are cute bird nests.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's true.
They were the best of us. Also, get rid of those woodpeckers.
Oh my god, this guy sucks.
They're just jerks. I had a bad experience with a woodpecker.
I know, everyone has. Even Bastion has.
Even Bastion is a bad woodpecker memory. I remember when I watched a Woody the Woodpecker cartoon once. It was terrible. I'll never forget. I'll never forget how bad those cartoons are.
So moving on from Overwatch news.
We've got Street Fighter V, Capcom, who has been steadily updating their new fighting game, had talked a little bit about things that are going to be happening in August and September. And the August 16th one, which so I guess it's now out, this is a story from August 15th, included a patch aimed at reducing the number of rage quitters in online matches. So much in the way that Blizzard's really cracked down on cheaters, Capcom really wants to crack down on the apparently very high number of people rage quitting matches in Street Fighter V.
What does it mean to rage quit?
Rage quitting
Street Fighter V.
In a fight, rage quitting commonly happens in fighting games because it's so easy, and it's basically where you get into an online match, and before the match is concluded, like say you lose the first round super hard, you then open the menu and you quit the match, and it doesn't get resolved, and you leave the other person.
Oh,
hanging.
It's not resolved.
Yes,
that's interesting.
It doesn't count as anything. So you like, oh, I'm losing so hard, I'm going to quit this match, so I don't get the loss counted. Or whatever. Or just because I'm mad and don't want to deal with the loss.
see, that's interesting because I've been getting back into Hearthstone. And one of my things about Hearthstone is I lose a lot of games of Hearthstone. Listen, I'm really bad at Hearthstone.
Yeah.
But
I lose in Overwatch all the time.
Yeah, but very, very rarely does someone bring me to 0 health in Hearthstone. Because I know I'm like, okay, I will lose in the next 3 turns because there's nothing I can draw that's going to win me the game. So I often concede. But when you concede in that, the other person gets the win because why wouldn't they?
A rage quit is not a forfeit.
Yeah.
And also, like, you look at Hearthstone and you can say, like, a match of Hearthstone can potentially take, like, 10 to 15 minutes, if not even more in some cases. Whereas a fighting game match is going to take you like 3 minutes tops.
Yeah, because it's got a timer on it.
It's 3 rounds most of the time, and they're 99-second rounds, so you're maybe looking at 5 minutes at the absolute maximum. So just take the loss and deal. Also, if you're going to lose that hard, it's going to be way shorter than 5 minutes.
This is true.
But apparently some people just don't like it, wasting their time.
So do you think it's because of people not wanting their time wasted, or do you think it's because people don't want the loss counted against their score?
I'm unsure in this case because I don't know how Street Fighter has handled this up till this point in SF5. Although it seems like they did put out an initial rage quit system rollout, which has decreased things, but this update actually furthers it by docking league points, so like docking like ranking points from you, like they just take them away, and locking them out of online matches for an unspecified amount of time.
Ooh, that's harsh.
So that's getting closer to what like Overwatch does with the cheating of just a permaban. But this doesn't seem like a permaban, but maybe it'll be like, okay, you don't get to play for a week because you rage quit.
Because you couldn't sit through a 3-minute loss
or just
match.
Stand there and let the other person kill you in 10 seconds if you really thought you were going to lose that badly. And it's just, once again, it's a matter of sportsmanship in a way, because if you're going to play a fighting game online competitively, you've got to understand that there are people in the world who are better than you at it. There's always going to be people in the world who are better than you at the fighting games you play, no matter what. So you got to understand that you're going to lose a lot of matches.
Oh, yeah.
But there seem to be a large number of people who play these fighting games and either don't understand that or refuse to accept it. And they're just like, no, I didn't lose. You didn't win. I quit the game. And that's like, it's not how it works, man.
No,
like, you're ruining everybody else's fun. And it's the same as people saying, well, I don't care if you're not supposed to cheat in this shooting game. I have fun when I cheat. Screw everybody else's fun. Like, I have more fun when I quit the match before I lose in Street Fighter. Screw other people. They don't get to have fun playing their fighting game that they paid for.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, but it seems like Capcom really hopes that it'll cut it down even more. And that they are going to continue working on new implementations to more completely address the issue by early next year. They're also going to be releasing daily challenges for the game that will earn players fight money and fighter profile updates. Fight money is like you can use to buy costumes and things like that.
Oh yeah, I remember reporting on that. It was kind of their whole fight money system was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also apparently had a weird system for unlocking color options for different costumes, where you had to play through the game's survival mode, which is apparently incredibly difficult. So much so that almost nobody could unlock these colors. And one of the things this update is doing is just making those colors purchasable with in-game money. So that's good too. And the sixth and last confirmed DLC fighter is still unknown when Urian. It's still unknown when he will be available to players.
Okay.
He was in the story mode, and I think you can play as him in the story mode for like 1 or 2 fights, but you can't just use him in the regular game yet. So that's that. Speaking of Capcom, how about that Resident Evil 7?
Oh man, Resident Evil, now known as Silent Hill.
Silent PT.
Yeah.
They showed a Gamescom gameplay trailer at Gamescom for it, which it really just kind of has the feel of PT, but in a much more open environment.
Oh wow, so this is much different than the last trailer they showed in that... Like, the last trailer they showed... I mean, the gameplay is basically the same, but the last trailer they showed was just wandering around a house, and I mean... It was like a rundown old house. It wasn't actually that interesting looking other than being creepy. Whereas these environments, there's so much more to them.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot more detail.
There's some really great lighting effects and like depth of field effects going on as well. This video shows them kind of hiding from this person with a lantern who's chasing them around.
Certainly nothing like Amnesia at all.
Not at all. And trying to escape them. The game still looks so much different from what we think of with Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, there don't even seem to be zombies. It's just a guy with a lantern.
Yeah, I don't know. The trailer apparently focuses on a character named Mia as she explores a creepy house where the infected are running amok.
Oh,
so maybe that person is infected or something.
He was acting so normal. He just had a lantern.
Spooky. But I mean, the trailer honestly, like, it shows us some in-game engine gameplay, but it really still doesn't tell us much about the title.
No, not
like,
really.
And what it's gonna really be like. We know it's gonna have a VR element, like it's gonna be playable in VR, which, given how nice it looks and as a first-person game, will probably be really cool, and really spooky. But they say they're returning to the series' roots when it comes to gameplay, focusing on traditional exploration puzzles that fans of the original titles will appreciate, and that Resident Evil's classic inventory system will also return in this game. Also interesting, they're calling it Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, because Biohazard is just the Japanese title of Resident Evil.
Oh.
In Japan, the game is just called Biohazard.
I mean, if anything, Biohazard might make more sense as a title.
Yeah.
But, I'm looking forward to seeing more from that. Because, wow, it looks very cool. But we gotta do an update on a story that we did last week. A very sad update, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
So last week we reported that Pokemon Uranium...
I don't think we talked about it much.
No,
time.
We were pretty much just like, oh, Pokemon Uranium. These guys spent 9 years making it. It's a Pokemon game. It looks so good. They released it for free, and Nintendo didn't crack down on them.
Yep.
Well,
they built an RPG maker.
As of last Saturday, so literally a day after we reported on it, which was like the 13th, I think. A day after we reported on it, the guys who made Pokemon Uranium, which I forget the name of their team, but they took it down.
Yes.
And they did not take it down because Nintendo took legal action. That's the important thing to note here. It's more that Nintendo had probably talked to them, or they issued some stuff saying like, well, we're not happy about this. And then before lawyers got involved, the team was just like, okay, we'll just take it down.
Yeah.
And they took it down. But while it was still up, it was downloaded 1.5 million times.
That's crazy.
So basically this game will live forever on the internet because everybody has it.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can still find it.
I think
I'm
if you
sure.
want to play this game, it's very easy to find.
Which was probably factored into the team's thinking, where they were like, we weren't making money off of it anyway, and it's already circulated out on the internet, so we have no reason to keep hosting
Just
it.
look up a torrent.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find it. It is still funny because they spent so long working on it that they're still being very like, yeah, whatever, about the whole situation.
Yeah, after 9 years, I definitely couldn't do something like that.
Yeah. But good for them. It looks kind of interesting. I might check it out. I'm not crazy about a lot of their original Pokemon designs. I don't think many of them are all that great.
Is that elephant guy one of theirs?
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
I don't really like this thing as much.
No.
And I actually looked at a list of like the Pokedex for the game, and there were a lot of them that I was kind of like, What's interesting is they actually did a few of their own evolutions of existing Pokemon as well. Though.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that. Maybe.
Which is kind of neat. And they added the nuclear type.
Yeah, which is strong against everything and weak against everything. Wasn't that what we said?
Yes,
yeah.
Does double damage. Like every other thing is weak to it, but it is also weak to everything.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. An interesting idea. Speaking of Pokemon, though, we have some official Pokemon news as well.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
A couple new ones. We'll save the best for last here. A little trailer came out showing off 4 new Pokemon, including Crabrawler, which I feel like he could have a better name.
He could have a better name, yeah, totally.
Yeah. He is a pure fighting type. He is actually not water or anything, which is kind of cool.
Oh.
And he is a boxing crab with a lazy eye. It kind of makes me think of Rocky Balboa.
A little bit.
So he's pretty cool. We also have Sandygast. And
which is exactly what it sounds like.
Sandygast and Palosand, which is its evolution. Sandygast is a ghost ground type, which is a possessed lump of sand. So this Pokemon's whole model, because once he evolves, he turns into a full sand castle, is just a haunted sand castle. He's got little eyes. He's got a little like plastic shovel in his head.
I'll take it. It sounds great.
It's really neat. It's a goofy idea for like a ghost type, but it fits the whole Hawaiian island idea. Then we have Stuffle, which is a stuffed teddy bear. If you look at the video, it's complete with a tag coming off of his butt. Who is the pre-evolved form of Beware, the weird pink-headed hugging bear Pokemon that they showed off a while ago. So it starts as this cute little stuffed animal and then turns into a horrifying hug demon.
As all stuffed animals often do.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. It's in like a morbid way. And finally, we have a Pokemon who was actually announced a day before these 4, who's really awesome. And I know, Lex, you saw this guy and we're like, oh yeah.
Oh man, the caboose of the Pokemon stories.
We have Turtonator.
Turtonator.
He looks like he's modeled after those, like a snapping turtle, but also one of those goofy long-nosed turtles. I think they're called like Matamatas or something. They're like a tropical turtle. I saw some of them in Japan, actually, so they're around. But he's a fire dragon type. And what is so special about him, Lex?
Oh man, he's got his big shell, and he just shows it off to everyone.
This turtle's got a butt that won't quit.
Yeah. I think when I posted the trailer of his gameplay footage on our Facebook, I just said "dat backside."
Because that's actually where I first saw him. I saw him from your post.
But he like shoots lasers and fire out of it sometimes, and all the attacks like bounce off it and jump. Yeah, because it's his main protection.
He's got a unique move where he can set up an explosive trap on his shell.
Ooh.
So when the enemy Pokemon attacks him, it goes off and deals them severe damage. So he's really neat. His typing's also very interesting. Because the only fire dragon type up till now has been, I think, Mega Charizard. So he is the first non-Mega evolved Pokemon of that type. I think. If some big Poke fan wants to tell me I'm wrong, they can go right ahead. Because I might be.
You might be.
There's like 700 of those things. I can't keep track of it.
Those little things, so.
But that's cool. Pokemon Sun and Moon continues to impress, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think I've been in love with all of their Pokemon designs, but I have been in love with a lot of the mechanics they have put into those designs.
Yes. Seems like a ton more thought is being put into many of just the individual Pokemon that are being added into this one, including the different forms of older Pokemon, which seem to have a lot of thought put behind them. And also just from a gameplay standpoint, having the full 3D movement looks really cool. The setting seems interesting, and it really feels like they're taking it in a different direction, which they haven't done in quite some time with a Pokemon title. So, for me, who really likes Pokemon but has been kind of disenchanted with it, as far as the core games go, it's very exciting to see all this new original stuff and thought going into the title. No Man's Sky has received its first post-launch patch as of yesterday, August 18th. Hello Games released the patch, which is supposed to address issues such as frame rate and stability. The patch is available on PS4 and PC, and they didn't offer... The full patch notes aren't out yet, I believe, but it said it added some hardware support for certain low-end computer configurations, as well as fixing a lot of crash bugs that had been happening to a lot of players, myself included. A big one being when you warp from system to system, the game would very commonly crash.
Oh, well, that's not something you do very much.
Well, it's funny, the first 3 times I warped, it didn't happen, and then it has happened once every time I have warped since then, prior to this patch. But earlier today, I was playing the game, and I downloaded the patch, and I warped once, and it didn't crash. So far, so good.
So far.
It was just a simple stability patch, but that's good, because it means that they are really working on the customer support side of things, which is actually what Murray said in the release of this patch, and getting the game just fixed, getting all the little problems that remain fixed, and then they will move on to improving and adding various features to the game, which I'm very excited about. So that's that. Here's one you dug up, Lex.
Oh, this is really interesting, sort of rumor mill type stuff. But there was a NeoGAF post on the 15th.
Yes.
About how apparently in Europe, someone, we don't actually know if it's Bethesda, but somebody has filed a copyright on the title Fallout New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, oh, they're getting ready to do Fallout New Orleans. You know, it's like the next Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And people are excited. The only weird thing is with the filing of the I can't remember if it's a patent or a copyright, but either way, with the filing of it, there was a graphic for Fallout, and it looks hecka not real.
Yes.
It's like, wow, does it look like someone mocked it up in a few minutes in like MS Paint?
Oh, totally.
But I was reading an article on it, and they were saying like, actually, because it's just filing for a patent, a lot of companies like, no one's going to see that, so they do just mock something up in MS Paint really quickly. So
I was going to say, if this is just a copyright file, why would they bother fully designing a logo for it? But yeah, it does look super cheap and crappy. But that's about all there is to that story, really.
Well, there's stuff about Obsidian, because
is there? Obsidian
made New Vegas, and everybody loved it. Some people loved it more than regular Fallout 3.
I did.
So a lot of people were saying, "Hey, like, is Obsidian going to make this?" So they tried to contact Obsidian, and Obsidian's like, no, we're not. But then Obsidian also posted a thing being like, we're working on a cool new project, and it might be related to Fallout, hint. So let me see if I can pull up the exact tweet. I have an article about it from Game Rant, and I think it talks about Obsidian's response. I just can't remember where in the article it does. It was a trademark specifically that we're talking about here, not anything else. But
having trouble digging through all that.
It's a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
okay.
It's still a little up in the air where it might be.
It's also interesting this is only like a European trademark, apparently,
and they just haven't filed elsewhere. So
they fast tracked it though.
So it might be that this is just some punk European kid trying to mess with everybody.
It's possible.
It's possible. Hopefully that's not what's happening, because this sounds very interesting. And New Orleans is a cool setting for that. I would dig to see that.
I could get behind a big Cajun super mutant gumbo chef.
Oh my god, all those giant mutant shrimp.
Yeah.
They'd be everywhere.
That'd be great. That's good eating. Throw them in the pot. So, let's talk about Final Fantasy 15.
Must we?
We must.
We must.
Because there's big news.
Yeah, also on the 15th, the rumors confirmed that Final Fantasy 15 is indeed going to be delayed. Now, this game was going to come out on, I believe, September 10th, or sometime in September.
15th, I think? Or maybe earlier? No. It was early September.
Sometime in September, yeah. And there had been rumors swirling around the last couple of weeks that they were going to delay it for a couple months, and the director...
Hajime Tabata.
Yeah, he posted a video online saying, like, yep, it's getting delayed. It's going to come out November 29th.
His reasoning for this was stated as to allow the development teams to further polish and conduct quality testing, so the reality of the game can match the expectations of both the fans and the creative team. Basically, he explains they've been working on what would have been a substantial and important Day 1 patch, a la No Man's Sky, actually. But since not everyone is connected to the internet, they wanted to ensure it would be on disk at launch.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice of them.
It actually is very nice. And, like, not at all outside of the realm of possibility. I am genuinely wondering if part of the other reason for this delay was the proximity it had to Persona 5's release date.
Oh, yeah, we were discussing how they were coming out
at
month. Basically the same time.
I think P5 was like 2 weeks after this or something.
And Persona was just going to like blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that factored into it. Also, if you're coming out in the end of November, you're really going to hit that holiday buying season.
Yes.
Which seems like a much better time for a game to come out just in general.
Yes. So, that's all speculation, but we'll see. Tabata personally apologizes in the video and says they're considering future patches and DLC. And then on August 16th, they released a big 30-minute gameplay demo. And at Gamescom, the master version of the game was playable. So, like, the final version. FF15, will it be good? I don't know.
Probably
play
not.
Pinball.
Your
bros.
We're not sure about a lot of things with FF15, but we are sure about one thing. It's going to be hecka expensive.
That's true. So
in an article from yesterday,
following the delay news, we found out that FF15, we found this out a while ago actually, that it would feature a season pass for all the future DLC, and that season pass with its vague mentions of what the DLC is, it was like a holiday pack, 3 content packs, 3 episodes, and DLC devoted to the 3 like party member characters besides Noctis. They have gone to say this $85 season pass will not be included in the massively expensive Ultimate Collector's Edition of the game, which is going to be retailing for $270.
I can't believe it's that much. It doesn't even include the season pass.
It's crazy. That's like so expensive.
And it's baffling too, because in a time when Final Fantasy's popularity is dwindling, it's like they're just doubling down on their assumption that people will pay more for it.
Yeah. So this all came out in a Q&A tweet back and forth between fans and Hajime Tabata. When asked by a fan if the Ultimate Edition would include the Season Pass, he responded with, "Sadly, no, and we looked into making more Ultimate Collector's Editions, but we were told we can't." Because apparently they only made 30,000 copies of this, and they sold out within 30 minutes.
Oh.
They're only being sold on the Square Enix online store. And include a 192-page hardcover art book, a statue of the main character, copies of the full-length film Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy XV, as well as the game's anime spin-off, Brotherhood, and bonus in-game content such as a unique weapon and a travel pack. It's probably like a nice fanny pack for the main character with like snacks in it or something.
Because he would wear a fanny pack.
He would. So I guess a lot of people have been hoping to get a copy of this Ultimate Edition because it comes with a lot of stuff, but that price tag is like, oh. Especially when you think about having to pay for the season pass on top of that.
That's so much money.
And you're spending almost another $100 for the extra DLC.
Also, like, we've seen gameplay of this game at E3, and it looks real janky.
Yeah.
So you're
final version, we'll see, but
that's a lot of money to throw at something that might not actually work that well.
And I still have no confidence the story will actually be any good. Because that's the only thing they haven't really talked about.
Yeah, we don't really know much of anything about the story, do
we? Not
a
lot. Noctis is a prince.
We just know that
a character.
Cindy is too sexy.
Yep. There's some other pretty blonde lady who lives in the city, but she's just sexy enough.
Yeah.
So, we don't really know. It's a lot of mystery here, and now we need to wait till November to solve that mystery.
Do you want to talk real quick about Battlefront news?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, and the South Park thing.
And the South Park thing. I pulled up, we have our general Gamescom article here to fill in the last bits.
Yeah, Polygon has been doing a great little, accumulation article where whenever they post an article that has, like, the Gamescom tag, as soon as it gets posted to anywhere on their site, it gets listed on this article with a link and, like, a short bit of the piece. So they're getting those updates as we go, and some of them are pretty interesting. One of them is a new play mode that's going to be introduced into Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes.
And it's something that the game should have launched with, but at least they're finally adding it after, I don't know, a year.
Yep.
This is the Star Wars Battlefront Battle Station mode, and it is space battles. Finally. There will be space battles.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Oh, yeah. So this is pretty much just taking down the Death Star. And I think it's like a multi-tiered fight, so you're, like, grabbing a droid. One of the tiers is just a space battle, I believe. Another one is going inside the...
Rebel Alliance will take off an A-Wing and X-Wing fighters to face off against TIEs.
Yeah.
Take out as many fighters as you can before finally bringing down a Star Destroyer.
Oh, a Star Destroyer.
That's pretty cool. The second phase will players land in the hangar bay to pursue and capture a droid on foot. Here, the new hero characters will come into play, Chewbacca on the Rebel side, and Bosk, the reptilian bounty hunter.
We finally get to play as Bosk!
Yeah! And in the third and final stage, well, they already added the best bounty hunter, Dengar, so...
I forgot he was in there.
Bosk is really all that's left. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel now. In the third and final stage, each side will return to space as the Rebels commence their attack run on the Death Star. And the climactic battle of Episode 4, A New Hope, plays out, basically. You take the role of Luke as he attempts to blow the space station up, and people on the Empire side will be able to chase down Luke as Darth Vader in his TIE Advanced.
Now, this is something that was teased at the Star Wars Celebration in July.
Yep.
But we actually saw, apparently there was more gameplay of it at Gamescom, and they made the official announcement there. And it's going to be coming in September.
Yep.
So, yeah, not quite a year, but almost a year. Right?
Also coming, because it came out last November.
Yeah.
So, also we're getting the X-Wing virtual reality missions and a fourth expansion pack on the way, which is apparently going to feature content from Rogue One. Oh
yeah, because it'll be coming out then.
Yeah. Speaking of Rogue One, did you see that trailer intercut with Sabotage by the Beastie Boys?
I did not, but this is not the time to talk about that. That's what our bonus content is for.
That's our bonus content. Find out how we feel about Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Spoilers, we love it.
In the second silliest story that we have this week.
Is this only the second silliest story?
Yeah, because the fan voted one is the silliest.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
I should pull that up.
Yeah.
But it's the pig mask one, right?
Yes. So the second silliest story this week, one of the things showed off at Gamescom was what studio is making Stick of the new the Fractured But Whole South Park game?
Ubisoft.
Oh, it is Ubisoft. Okay. They had a gadget at Gamescom that is the Snoculus. I think it's
the Nosculus Rift.
Nosculus Rift. Yeah.
I like Snoculus.
Yeah, I think that's better. But so it looks kind of like a VR headset, except it just goes around your nose.
Yes.
And specifically, it's like a real thing that it actually works. And it interacts with the game, so when you play the game, there's apparently like fart mechanics in the game, so that when you use those fart mechanics, it releases gas into the little mask, so you smell the fart.
What an amazing video game!
I love
Can
it.
I point out how this was ironically announced in Cologne, Germany?
Oh my god, yes! August 17th, yeah, 2 days ago.
Better and better. Because apparently in Fractured But Whole, there's this whole fart mechanic is super integral part of the game. Because of your Fractured But Whole. So this, you're gonna smell a lot of farts if you play this game with the Nautilus Rift on. What an idea.
So wait, is this actually going to be sold? I don't think it is. I think it's just a publicity thing for Gamescom.
I think it's just a publicity thing, but people at Gamescom can play the game with this thing on.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, people.
Don't squander it.
It also kind of looks like you could wear an Oculus Rift over it. It's so
have it covering your whole face.
Yeah. Then it would look like a cool helmet.
Become a really cool Daft Punk person.
Yeah. And you're in Europe, so it's more acceptable there.
Yeah. We should probably get our voting story in here.
Yeah, we're almost out of time.
We're getting to the end of our show. So, Pokemon Go. We've been talking a lot about it. Here's one of the most interesting stories yet. In Sweden...
Oh, it was Sweden, okay.
In Sweden, this is an article. I pulled it up on International Business Times.
Ooh,
August 17th.
Look at that.
Oh my god. It's going places. This Pokemon Go.
Yeah, this story's been all over the place because it is absurd.
Pokemon Go players in Sweden were confronted by pig mask wearing strangers wielding green laser pointers. So screaming and shining these pig mask people were screaming and shining green laser pointers at two teenage Pokemon Go players. And after they did that and the teens left, the mask-wearing duo started a traffic jam by having sex on a roadside water wheel.
Okay, for one thing, you're in Sweden when there's a roadside water wheel. Let's put that out there.
Not the pig mask sex?
No.
It's not the tip-off?
Honestly, that was the thing that made me think, this probably happened in, like, the US and Florida or something.
Right? Florida man dons pig mask. Just another chapter in the adventures of Florida man. He's always up to something.
So, can I point out that this town in Sweden, Isjan, which is a town of 2,000 people.
Yeah, Insjan or something?
Insjan?
A town of a 2,000 person village. So everyone knows who these people are.
They have to.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's such a small town. That's crazy. And the two people who were attacked were two.
Count as an attack.
I mean, you can really hurt someone's eyes with laser pointers.
That's
actually,
true. That's true.
But they were siblings with the two kids playing Pokemon Go. Because it's a town of 2,000 people, so It's not like there are two people who are friends in that town who are playing Pokemon Go. There are enough people. They had to be siblings.
The masked pigs who also wore separate shirts that read King and Queen.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
So yeah, the traffic started because everyone slowed down to watch them have sex.
Oh my gosh, can I ask? Because I don't remember if it
Others
says...
reportedly got out of their vehicles to take a gander at the activity.
Can I ask if the pig masked people, like the girl was wearing the king shirt and the guy was wearing the queen shirt, and then they were trying to say something about like gender?
That'd be so progressive.
I know. Well, it's Sweden.
I do love the way this article phrases it because it's just a laser pointer, and I know you can really hurt someone's eyes, but it says the laser hit one of the teenagers in the face. Which sounds way more serious than it probably actually was. And my favorite, the couple, if caught, could face sexual harassment charges. And a police officer said that they were concerned about the alleged laser attack.
No, here's the thing, though.
They didn't really care about the traffic jam.
This makes it seem like the laws in Sweden are way more lax for, like, doing it in public. Because in the U.S., like, you would go to prison for this.
Like, a lot of prison?
Oh, yeah.
This is probably worse than murder in the United States.
Yeah, and you would definitely be on the sex offender registry for the rest of your life. And you, like, couldn't live near a school or anything.
Not in Sweden, though. Pig people will be pig people.
I mean, it's not like you're not going to get charges, but, you know, they're not going to be mean about it.
I mean, I don't know. It says they will face sexual harassment charges, so I don't know how strict those are going to be. They could be pretty harsh, depending.
Yeah.
You never know. But I don't know. I don't know about Swedish law. You said.
For some reason, I'm not up on my Swedish law. But what games are coming out? We got any games coming out?
Today, we have F1 2016. Formula 1 racing. Mm-hmm. We also have Metroid Prime Federation Force. Oh. A game of divisive...
Yeah, I think
that's created many divisive arguments.
I think it might be safe to say that a lot of people are not going to buy this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how well it actually does.
And Nintendo might be happy that this isn't a game that's on Steam with that kind of voting system, because, man...
Yeah, people aren't happy about that. Yesterday, Tales of Berseria came out.
Is that a JRPG?
It is. It's the newest Tales game. Also today, Style Savvy Fashion Forward for the 3DS.
Oh, that's what I was looking forward to on the 3DS.
Man, of course.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided coming out the 23rd for the Windows, the PS4, and the Xbox.
Reviews have been rolling in for that one already. Pretty good.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid.
Yeah. We've also got Inside coming out on the PS4.
Another Madden NFL game. Who cares?
King of Fighters 14.
Ooh, coming out for the PS4.
A new Worms game.
Weapon of Mass Destruction. Or Worms of Mass Destruction, because it just says Worms WMD, and I'm not sure if it's like a play on something else.
On the 25th, we have Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. Is that something you might be interested in, Lex?
I've played the beta for that.
This is a reboot of the first game released in 1993, apparently.
Well, it's sort of more of a reboot of the second game. But, no, I played the beta, and it was pretty good. It was all the stuff that was in the second game from the 90s. But with updated graphics.
That's interesting.
And it played pretty well. My big gripe with it, I think I might have talked about it on the show, I don't remember. I definitely had a lot of conversations with our friend Ben about it. Was that it was literally just like the same gameplay from that old game with nice 3D graphics. So if they didn't actually introduce more gameplay, then it might not really be worth picking up. Like, you might as well just play the older one unless you really care about the graphics. We have someone who
has told us that in our chat has said that they love the fact the traffic slowdown was caused not by the pig people, but because passerbys decided to stop and watch. And also that a 65-year-old Swedish man was acquitted of sexual assault after pleasuring himself on a beach in Stockholm in June because they tossed out the charge on the grounds that he did not look at anybody while fondling himself. The court ruled he had committed no offense as he did not direct his activities at a particular target. Which is an interesting take on it.
And
in that case,
their only real crime is the laser pointer thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time they attacked someone else.
Listen, I'm willing to bet that the pig people were 100% focused on each other and that it was entirely consensual. So maybe they're in the clear on that one.
Oh, man.
Fascinating.
So if Zappy from the Chip It Chat is telling us true, then I think we have a good
appreciate that.
Good knowledge of how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? That's why you should check out and join the chat, our live chat.
Yeah.
You can tell us stuff like that.
Yeah. We can get in on all that extra info. But tell us all the things we're wrong about in esports.
Oh, a lot.
Please do educate us.
Yeah, no, there's people that I know that were at TI6, and I keep meaning to be like, hey, have you listened to our last episode yet? Were you insulted by our coverage?
By our pathetic attempt at coverage.
But yeah, so
that's about it for this week.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. You can find us on all sorts of social media, such as Twitter,
Facebook,
Steam,
iTunes,
YouTube, And now
Twitch as well, and Patreon.
And Patreon. The big thing is Patreon. Donate to us on Patreon every month. You get cool rewards, such as you get to vote on stories, such as people wearing pig masks.
Pig masks and laser attack.
Yeah. You also, if you pay for the higher tiers, you also get bonus content every month, and if you pay even higher than that, then you can make us cover certain stories. So you can find a story and be like, you guys have to cover this because I'm paying you the big bucks.
Yeah.
So in the coming weeks, we will be starting live streaming our shows on Twitch. So look forward to that. The channel is up. It is DCTF Podcast, just like our Twitter handle.
Yeah.
So you can find us and like us, follow us on Twitch. So please check us out there, and content will probably be coming in the next couple weeks. Is there anything else? Oh, check out our show archives on iTunes and on chipbit.net.
And leave us a review.
Yeah, leave us a review on iTunes. That'd be so nice of you. And you can listen to all those past episodes. They're all up there. There's also a show archive on YouTube, although it is not complete. It is just most of the recent stuff.
Putting that together has been a nightmare.
I mean, because there's a full archive up on two other sites, I don't think there's a huge amount of pressure.
I'm working on
it. But yeah, so all that social media, check us out, like us, tweet at us, follow us.
And the most important thing, though, the one thing
that you should,
above all else, you should remember, don't copy that floppy.